Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This is Keller and Chat with Joanna, and I am Joanna, getting ready to put my antlers on because this elf has work to do. I'm telling you, these are the most comfortable things. I wore them to the Benvenuto sweater contest, which we didn't win. But I think we didn't win because we weren't there. I'm just saying. Just saying, you know. Okay. Where am I on my project? Oh, got my Great Pyrenees sweater on. Can you see them? Hang on a minute. This thing is only like 80 sizes too big. Okay, but before I get started, I got nothing done on this. I had to, well, I'm not going to say nothing because I did do something today. I mean, I got out of bed. That was a progress. And then I had to go to physical therapy, which was a little painful today, but you know, no pain, no gain, right? Got to get it done. Got to get it done somehow. And then, oh, I had to go next door because my eyeglasses were a little loose. And I stopped in, and there was this really nice man there who I met last time who did a quick repair for me, no charge. And I told him, I said, oh, yeah, we went to Benvenuto's. We even met the mayor. He said, Archie, he said, we play golf together all the time. I was like, please tell him I adore him. I just adore him. Then, after we got my glasses fixed, 2 doors down was Starbucks. Okay, now look. My kid, as you all know, well, many of you know, I don't assume that everybody knows, is a manager at Starbucks. But I don't take advantage of his employee discount the way that I think I should. I'm his mother, you know. But anyway, so I got my Christmas cup. Look at the color. Oh my God. And the texture of these cups, I love them. And then, oh, so I go in the store. It's just like any other store, right? You know, you go into Starbucks, only there's like 38 cups in Starbucks. And I walk in, and one of them says, good morning, you want to try a little snack cake or a free coffee? And I was like, are you guys busting the joint up? What happened? I'm like, why are there policemen everywhere? And there's a cop behind the counter wearing a SWAT vest. I kid you not. Doing the drive-through window. And he said, well, we're having a special event today. And it's called Cops and Coffee. And I'm telling you, every cop in Milford, Delaware was in that store. So I started telling him about, you know, the whole, you know, we just moved here. And he said, where'd you move from? And I said, Texas. And he was like, what? You left Texas to come here? My standard response, because I don't want to piss off anybody politically, because you don't know where people stand until you get to know them. You know, you really don't. And so I told them the truth, which is I need the beach. I need to be around an ocean. And I found out that Delaware is the most dog friendly state in the country, and that they have 7 dog friendly beaches. And he said, yep, and we'll get you if you got that dog off a leash. I was like, well, off season, it doesn't mean if they're off a leash or not. Anyway, so then I found these Christmas cups, and they come with straws. Hold on. I had to tell you guys, I think you can buy them online. They're not super, super cheap. I kind of, a little bit at the price, but long-suffering hubby was so proud of me for doing such a good job at physical therapy, because they were like, girl, you are rocking it today. And I didn't feel like I was rocking it, but I guess I was rocking it. Okay, so we have, hold on a minute. We got weirdness popping in on us. So we have the red, we have green, we have serious red, and they're all glittery. Can you see them? They're much lighter. And look at the pink one. Ah! You know, me and the pink. Now these lids, they do they screw on or do they pop on? I don't know. I'm as new at this as you are. But they're light. They're not insulated like this one. This one is a lot more insulated. But if you just want to take a quick drink with you, and you know you're going to leave it somewhere, you know, I think they're so cute. And they all came in a nice little package. And they all have matching lids. I love the pink one. I'm sorry. I'm so partial to... See, I put the Barbie pink on the wrong cup. Do you think I do anything right? No. The girl can try. I can try. But they're great because I am trying to really up my water intake, and I need like water. And these things they actually have measurements on them. Do you see? Hold on. Let me try to get it to focus in. It may or it may not. You know, but I thought they were so cool, and I have to begin hydrating a lot more. I'm not getting enough water at all, and I can tell because look at, now I got all these lids I got to keep up with. How many days do you think it'll be before I lose the lids or the straws? Let's take a vote. Should I start a poll? I mean, really. You know, and I love the little thingy at the end so the straws don't fall out. But anyway, I thought they were really, really lightweight, because sometimes these guys can get a little heavy. You know, like I've got Mr. Orange here. He's full of ice water. He weighs 3 pounds. I'm not kidding. But this color, I mean, come on. Pink and holographic. Oh. I think that my obsession with tumblers is as bad as my obsession with diamond painting. I really, really do. I'm gonna try to get uh, a little corner here done. We are doing. Oh, let me get the book. Oh God, I'm gonna pull a shoulder out with this book. You have no idea how heavy this book is. I mean, she is just insane. Um, Let me see if I can put it right side up or upside down. Here, this way. Oh, Joanna, you're such an idiot. Okay, we're doing Bringing Home the Tree by McNeil Studio. He is no longer available with Diamond Art Club, but you can find him. He's around. Oh, look at that. Really? You gonna do that to me? Anyway, I am still not finished with the decorating situation. I've got the patio done. I got the big bears. They're good to go. Wish I could just break this off without cutting my finger open. Anyway, and I'm just, I'm this close. All I have left to do is the front door and then get all this crap in my cave well hidden. Oh, by the way, I did talk to a little Etsy girl, and her name is Shaban Khan, John Shaban John. She is from Connecticut, and she makes cover minders, and I thought I would give her a try because I saw a cover minder. You guys have got to see this cover minder. She's so cute. Hold on. Let me just go a little brighter. I really just, I'm into this whole snowflake thing. So she wrote a lovely thank you note and gave me stickers. And this is her card. If you want to go visit her site, she does have an Etsy store. But look, I needed a little snowflake, but a really, really, let me try to get her in here, a really detailed, beautiful one. This is not to use for a diamond painting, but I'm going to be using it as, hold on, I'll put it on my sleeve so you can understand. I'm going to be using it as a pin on my scarf, on my Santa suit. I needed, and it stays really, really, I mean, look, I'm shaking it, it ain't moving. It ain't going nowhere. Is that not adorable? I needed a snowflake. But some of the snowflake pins that I had, and look, my shirt is just attacking everything right now. So I'm going to stick her over here just so she doesn't get lost. She sent me all kinds of candies and treats and a actual beautiful thank you note. I mean, look at this note. I know. She writes like my sister. I thought it was my sister for a second. I really did. But, super, super sweet. And, Jenny, I love you. but I had to have that snowflake. And, there's plenty of room to go around. There's plenty of people to patron to 28 because, oh yeah, and I got the stamps and the cards, and that's tomorrow's project. My tomorrow projects are getting a little out of control. I mean, I keep procrastinating, like, don't procrastinate now, don't put it off. And really, I feel like I'm definitely, definitely putting it off a lot. Um, and I'm not getting any diamond painting done. And this should have been done 2 weeks ago. I mean, really. Um, but boy, I'll tell you, life gets in the way. And sometimes you just gotta ride it out, Hang on to yourself and be like a willow tree. Sway back and forth, but don't let the wind rip up your roots. And that's kind of how I've been feeling lately. Like, oh crap. So, I told my therapist today, we got to talking because I told him I finally found a dog sitter. Thank God. And she lives like really close. She's actually seen my husband get dragged around like a bag of trash by the dogs. And she's like, oh, that poor man. I'm like, I know. But, it might be time to just, until I really heal up and my knee, that one did not want to do what I wanted her to do. Until I really get, back up 100%, I'm kind of thinking about getting a dog walker because she's been a veterinarian tech for about 3 years. She's going all the way. And she has dogs of her own, and she is a very nice girl, married. I've only met her on the phone. I'm going to have her come over this week after I clean this. Shut up. You know how it is when when you just have company and you just want to, oh my God, you got to clean so much. I'm telling you. Anyway, I wanted her to dog sit overnight so we could stay a night in DC and go see my very long time friend and go see my father because he's in Washington. And so I started telling this therapist about my story. My father lived to be 96 years old. He was in Normandy. He jumped out of an airplane, a perfectly good working airplane. And him and his best buddy, who managed to survive the war, well, his friend Oscar didn't get shot, but my father did. He got shot in the abdomen on the way down. They were shooting people in the air as they were coming down the airplanes. So Oscar saw a small cottage off the way, and he got my father there, and carried him. And my dad was not a little man. He wasn't fat, but he was like 6'6". I mean, big guy. Anyway, so, and all of this is published. By the way, my father's published. I will give you the book, the title of the book. And if you ever are now there are women who are fans of World War II movies, and there are women who are not. But if you mention to your husband the Band of Brothers, then he will know that one of those characters was actually written about my father. So he's published, and he's a true life hero. Well, Daddy at 95 years old would go in his scooter over the overpass to go to Outback Steakhouse because he loved to get a steak and a glass of wine, and he didn't want to bother anybody, and he didn't want to have to get into one of those mobile cars. So he would just charge up the old scooter, and off he went. He was that kind of guy. You just couldn't stop him. He really was. And, I mean, he had been shot 3 times in his life. He'd been shot on the job in New York and shot in the war, and took a nick when he was in the police department. So, anyway, Daddy was 96 years old, and he was making a martini, and the glass broke. And when the glass broke, I guess he tripped on something in the assisted living, and it hit him kind of hard. It cut his head, and he bled out, and that's how my father died. I mean, we kind of laugh about it now because what the hell is a 96-year-old doing making martinis anyway? And, Daddy, I mean, really, he was so bulletproof. He was just bulletproof. Anyway, so he wanted to be buried at Arlington in Washington, D.C. Arlington is hallowed ground, and you got to go through a whole lot of accoutrement to get somebody buried there. They don't just bury you there because you were a soldier. You have to be like hot shit, and he was. So anyway, we went through all of that. We got him. He wanted to be cremated, but then he wanted his ashes buried on the property. So we got this big, beautiful box for him. I mean, it was a beautiful mahogany lined, steel lined box, so that his ashes would never be harmed or anything. And we had everybody there because, you might not understand this if you're the younger age, but World War II veterans are seen like rock stars. They really are. And they pulled everybody. They pulled everybody out. Oh, I'm trying to drink out of the wrong cup. Hold on. 1 glass of water. Okay. So we had all kinds of Marines and beautifully decorated soldiers. They looked like models. They were so tall and handsome. and so good looking, and they were just, they were carrying some heavy metal. These guys were not privates. They didn't bring in the new kid. You know what I mean? So a whole lot of people showed up. Over 100. It was amazing. Dad, we did the whole thing. The chaplain, who is kind of a rock star in his own right, the chaplain, hold on, 53. I can't talk and think at the same time. It's very difficult. Okay, so the chaplain was there, and he was, doing this beautiful, long, beautiful service. And all the soldiers were there saying, thank you for your father's service. And, I hope we, really, a caisson for a little box. But he deserved it. I wanted him to have the biggest party in the world because he was my best friend. And I wanted him to have everything he deserved. And anyway, so all of the protocol gets taken care of, We do the 21 gun salute. Dad has a beautiful, beautiful gravesite. He looks right over the Pentagon. It's absolutely beautiful. Except for one thing. He didn't fit in it. When you, they dig the hole and then they cover it with like a felt, so that, you don't see this empty hole and start crying and bawling, which I did. And the hole was not big enough for the box. I'm not kidding you. I got bagpipers and soldiers and people with guns ready to shoot stuff up, and he didn't fit. My father didn't fit in the grave. Oh my God. I couldn't do anything because I'm that girl, I had my sexy black dress on, which my husband was like, who are you trying to impress today? I was like, I'm dressing for my father. He said, oh, really? Like none of those Marines are gonna notice you? And I was like, well, if they do, what are you gonna do about it? I'm still going home with you. Anyway, he was kind of cute. He's just a little tatty, greeny, jealous. And he was cute. Anyway, all the bagpipers are standing around because the bagpipers, they don't play the music until they're actually interring the remains. Well, that's gonna look stupid. There you go. They don't inter they can't play until they intern, everything. Luckily, it was not that hot of a day. It was in November, and luckily, these poor bagpipers, because they're in full gear. I don't know if you've ever taken a look at a bagpiper, but boy, yeah, they load up. And So they had to drag out in the middle of this beautiful ceremony, drag out a backhoe. A backhoe. Like you couldn't just get a shovel and make it a little wider around the sides. No, they had to get a backhoe because not only did it have to go wider, it had to go deeper. And so we all sat around, and it took like over an hour, for the bagpiper, for the backhoe guy. I'm sorry. I'm not telling the story very well. The backhoe guy to show up, and make a bigger hole. And you know what? The general, there was a 4-star general there doing my father's eulogy. I mean, the only way you could get any better is if, like, the president was there. Oh, and the president did do a flyby. So now I don't know if the flyby was for us because, he's got stuff to do. But I like to think that when he went by and saw all of the accoutrement happening and that it was a really good-sized funeral, that he tipped his wings. And I cried. I was like, shut up. This is the kindest, most wonderful moment of my life. Anyway, so they had to dig out. The bagpipers are smoking cigarettes and drinking water and, trying to stay in composure. The soldiers are starting to get a little tired because they're there for over an hour standing at attention. I'm like, I'm not your commanding officer, but you really don't need to stand at attention. It's not your fault that my father didn't fit in the hole. But the 4-star general came over and he said the nicest thing to me, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And I hope you guys understand it too, because I think all of us that have a good father who really did change the world and really did help people so much. He came to me and he said, you know what? Your father is just too big for this world. He was just too much for this world. He was so brave and so gallant and such a gentleman, and he was just too much for this world. And when he said that, when he said that, I fell apart. I mean, I was sitting on the back seat of my car. I had my Durango at the time. I had soldiers giving me their handkerchiefs. I still have one or two of them. It says United States Marines, and it was very special. I really fell apart. I just freaking lost it. He was too big for this world. I mean, my God, what else can you expect of a human being? So, anyway, it was fun to tell the story and have my physical therapist laughing, saying, you are telling me you had to have a backhoe in the middle of a funeral? And I went, oh, yeah. And he's never been to Arlington. And I was like, well, we have a pass. If you want to borrow it, if you don't return it to me, I'll hunt you down. I really will. But I have a pass that I can go in on any day. It doesn't matter if there's 10 feet of snow or rain or what. 15. See how I can't talk and count at the same time? Um, he said, you can just, you know, you can, it's a big patch, you put it on your windshield, and so you have access, because a lot of tourists go there because it is the most beautiful place. Oh my God. Some of the headstones, oh, they're like works of art. I mean, they really, really are. And then they have all the uniform white ones. And my father had a uniform white one. Um, but, I mean, if you ever get to Washington, D.C., you should go there. You should go there because it is holy ground. And you can feel the admiration coming from the other side to tell you they're glad you're there. You can really feel it. It's like, he's like, oh yeah, he said, I feel it all the time. Because I asked one of the soldiers, I was like, am I like a little, you know, kooky McDookie here, or I just feel like all these people that I cannot see are grateful that I am here. And they're like, oh, I feel that every day. And let me tell you something, I don't have a religious bone in my body. he's like he's like, I don't believe in any of that stuff, but I know that this goes on. So so it was really funny. It was funny to tell him and say, uh, that my dad was just too big for the world. He was just too big for this world. He was too important and too special. And they had to get a backhoe and make a bigger hole for him. Anyway, so we went to lunch afterwards, and found a really nice place, and I really was just, the day was getting to me. But I mean, I couldn't believe it. My brother-in-law, he was like trying to make a speech about my father, saying, you know what? This is for one big ass son of a bitch. He wouldn't even fit in the regulatory hole. So let's all hear it to Joe. And we all had a toast to him, and it was nice. It was, I mean, you can't be, soured by a father who hung around for an entire generation, for a century, a century. And it was just maybe 2 weeks short of his birthday, which is why I think he was hitting the martinis a little bit. But that is the story of my father. And I can back it up because I got him on. He's been interviewed by everybody. He is a master at I mean, you'll never find a better protector. When he was a young cop, when he first got out of the war, there was this sweet little African American boy who, by the way, racism was real hot, It was completely socially acceptable at the time. And he saw that little boy fall in the tracks and jumped right in, and then started yelling at all of the the people on the track, you know, push the train, push the train, push it to the left, push it to the left. If he weren't there, I don't want to know what would have happened, but, you know, he was that kind of cop. He was a good cop. He was not, he didn't, I know some people are going to say this is not an appropriate thing to say, but my father had many, not just one, but many African American friends. And he took a hit for it. And he would just tell them, you know what? There's the door. Don't let it hit your fat, ugly ass on the way out. I mean, he just loved people. And he didn't care what color they were. And he didn't care how much money they had. He was a funny, salty, kind, sweet man. And I am talking my ass off here. I'm up to 41 minutes. You must be sick of me by now. Okay, I was just trying to keep you company while you were maybe doing the dishes or folding laundry or, oh God, help me, decorating. I'm getting there. I'm almost decorated out. But I want to thank you all for keeping me company, and I am desperately trying to get to 500. I don't know why. It's just really bugging me lately that I have been doing this for so long and I'm still not at 500 people. And I'm wondering what I'm doing wrong or right or not doing at all. And, I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys that stuck with me, that hang out with me and listen to my ridiculous stories about my little tiny little life. Anyway, look, you're important to me. You know you're important to me. Do you think I would be wasting my time doing this if you're not important to me? So be important to you. Take care of you. I hope you found something good on the Good Friday thing. I don't want to talk about it. I don't think I can handle the shame. I went a little bazooka. Oh my God. Oh my God. And my husband, long-suffering husband, he was a part of it. He agreed. He was like up at 3 a.m. and not griping and saying, "Oh, let's get this one and let's get this." I'm telling you, I'm going to have him diamond painting inside of 90 days. I just know it. I'm just going to get him a real easy one and say, "Here, do this one for me, honey. Let me show you how." And see if he can do it, because I think it would relax him so much. I mean, he watches me and he says, "I don't know how you complete these things." But you know what? I think he could do it. What do you think? Do you think we should try to bribe him into it? Or coerce him into it? Or con him into it? I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, you guys have a great night, okay? I've enjoyed spending my time with you, and talking about my father is one of my favorite things, because he is such an interesting creature, and he lived 39 lifetimes, really, at once. So, have a good night and shine on, okay? Everybody shine, shine, shine real big, because it's a shiny, glittery season. So we got to do our part. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. See you in my next video. Bye.